What's up, everybody? Welcome to my review of the Yikun Discs Tomahawk. This is a mid-range in the tortoiseshell plastic, so it's an overmold mid-range. Thank you once again to Yikun Discs for sending me this thing to test and review. They sent me a bunch of great plastic, and I appreciate that. It just makes it that much easier for me to get the word out there, help kind of add some variation to my playlist of disc reviews, and help you guys check out some new plastic you might not be super familiar with. So I appreciate their support. Thank you for watching, and let's get into it. Yikun Discs Tomahawk. Dig the stamp, no problems there. Tortoise. I believe it's either tortoise plastic or tortoise shell plastic, because on the outside you'll see it says PDJ approved, and it says shell right there. And then yeah, Tomahawk as well. So it's pretty flat across the top, and the interior plastic feels exactly the same as the Meteor Hammer, if you saw that review. It's a little bit firm and has more of a premium, like a stiff premium feel to it than a baseline, in my opinion. And it feels good. It's got a nice grip to it for sure. Quite flat across the top for this particular disc. And then the outer stuff is quite rubbery. Now, if you look on the inside of the disc, you can see kind of where it gets molded in or injected there, I guess. Maybe that's part of the process. I'm not exactly sure how it works. Maybe, you know, it's in the mold this way and then the other plastic gets pressed in here and then it wraps around the outer edge. I really couldn't tell you, but it's my guess, I suppose. And then there's like these little ridges in here that I think kind of help adhere the whole thing. It doesn't seem like it's going to like come apart or anything by any means. And it has a similar vibe to like the Innova overmolds, I would say, other than the fact that the interior kind of flight plate comes out the bottom, more similar to like an MVP style, where you can actually feel that. That's most of what you're gripping. The rubbery outside edge does have some tacky feel to it, but you know, if you feel that in your palm in terms of the grip, but not necessarily on your fingers or your thumb so much, from my perspective. But really nice feel in the hand, and let's take a look at this thing. So it actually reminds me of the Wombat, I would say, not only in design but in flight as well. Also, what was that Discraft disc? The Impact, I believe, has a similar shape to it for sure. And then here's the Wombat side by side, so you can see what I mean. Wombat's kind of taller. It's got more of a dome. It's got the bead, but you can see that like middle part of it is somewhat similar in terms of the shape there. I think you'll agree to some degree at least. Wombat, a really unique, kind of a strange disc. It flies really unique as well, and I like it, but it's kind of weird. And then something totally different. This is a Mako 3. Let's put it up next to that as well. Huge differences there, but just might be something that you're familiar with. Not like totally out of the ballpark in terms of flight, but yeah, definitely different vibe to it. And then my favorite disc in terms of mid-range of all time, which is the Gobi, which is also an overmold. Very, very different as well. Much more shallow and rounded and all that kind of stuff. So the Tomahawk has that little like point there, but it's not uncomfortable by any means. I like the way it feels in the hand quite a bit, and no issues there. A little bit stiffer plastic to hold on to. It releases clean and has a pretty good grip to it, and I think it should be plenty durable as well. Let's talk about the flight of this thing. It is quite understable. The flight numbers, I showed them to you, I didn't actually say them. 5600. I would say it's probably more like a -1 or even a -2.0. It has some natural turn to it for sure. If you throw it flat, it wants to go right, I would say, but not in an aggressive way, not like a turn and burn way. But if you throw it flat, it'll kind of roll over smooth to the right. If you throw it down on a hyzer, it is a flip-up machine. I love the way this thing flies on that hyzer flip. You can throw it on a stiff hyzer, give it a little snap, it'll pop up straight, and it will fly on a laser all the way down. If you throw it high enough with enough hyzer, it may fade just a hair, but you could basically do that with any disc. If you know how to throw on those on that angle, start to finish, if you keep it on a hyzer and you throw it up high enough, it will eventually kind of fade a little. But if you just hyzer flip it up flat, and just let it fly, it will just fly on a laser line start to finish, and it's a really fun disc to throw. Again, you can throw it on a slight hyzer, hit it a little harder, it'll roll over and turn and hold a turnover as well. It's very similar to the Meteor hammer, but it's more understable, I'd say, and goes quite a bit farther, more glide, more speed. This would be a phenomenal disc if you're trying to learn the hyzer flip up to flat laser line through the woods. This is a great disc to work on that for basically any player. If you had a lot of power, this would be a tough disc to control, I would imagine. But for any kind of amateur player or kind of average player, I would say it's a really nice flip up, flat, straight flying disc. Almost has kind of like a ultimate disc type flight to it. So if you're transitioning from ultimate frisbee, you probably love this disc. If you're a beginner, I could see this being a phenomenal straight flying disc for a beginner just starting out as well. Very versatile. And it's funny because for the most part, people consider overstable discs to be the most consistent. And I understand that, I agree, but in their own way, an understable disc like this is also quite consistent. You know it's going to turn, so you can play for that turn. Has that flip up to it, so you can start it on that angle and you know it's going to roll over to some degree. So if on hyzer, get it to flip up flat, lighter hyzer, you can get it to turn over. Flat and high, it'll turn over, you know, so you know what it's going to do. You just have to adjust that angle slightly to get varying results. That is my review on the Tomahawk. Really fun disc that I'm probably going to keep around and either continue to test for me as a potential replacement for the Wombat, or for sure we'll hold on to in case I have a new player come out who needs to try some discs. I think it would be a really great option to get in the hands of a beginner. Thank you so much for watching. Thanks once again to Yikun Discs. Go to yikundiscs.com to check them out. And I'll talk to you very soon. Cheers. Thank you so much for watching, and big thank you to all of my Patreon supporters. If you would like to see your name listed in the credits of all of my videos, go to patreon.com/discgolfnerd.